Will actors be replaced by AI versions of themselves? Will screenwriters become obsolete? Or will AI help Hollywood creators do more creating faster, cheaper, better? These are the burning questions right now in Hollywood, and these are the questions I dug into in this Dispatch from the Field, where I was honored to be part of LA Tech Week, exploring AI and entertainment. My name is Jeff Wilser, and this is AI Curious, where today I'll be sharing a quick report from LA, as well as some snackable nuggets of AI news from the past week. So, the LA events. It was a privilege to take the stage as part of A16Z's LA Tech Week, organized by our old pals at Toonstar Studios, who were the very first guests on this podcast and the only, as of now, repeat guest, and in partnership with LMU and media partner Variety. Basically, this was an event in LA that brought together a murderer's row of sharp people in the entertainment industry, a mix of studio execs, tech startups, creatives, and the like, to get into the potential and concerns of AI and animation specifically, but also film and TV more broadly. So in a fireside chat, it was my honor to speak with one of my new favorite people, Susanne Daniels, a legend who has been the global head of content for YouTube, the former president of MTV, and she's had top programming roles at the CW, Lifetime, Fox, ABC, and on and on and on. Here are a few takeaways from our chat. First off, the crowd was rapt, and that is all Susanne. People seem really curious and engaged on the issue. It is top of mind for seemingly everyone in AI. Second, Susanne herself is brave. While I was in LA, I spoke to numerous studio execs off the record, and there seems to be, just from my own observation, a bit of a consensus, unspoken, that AI is such a hot button issue, people are reluctant to talk about it in public. It takes some guts to go on stage and share your thoughts about this third rail issue, and Susanne did it. Third, there was an emphasis, both from Susanne and the other panelists, that there are a ton of things in entertainment that AI will just never, ever really be able to do, like greenlight shows or figure out tastes. As a network executive, Susanne's point of view was that there's a certain ineffable, gut-level human spark that's used to pick hits, pick winners. And that's not something she envisions AI can ever do, no matter how good it gets. This squares with a larger idea that in any AI system, you kind of need to, quote, keep the human in the loop. And fourth, I think this is a story that's less seen in media, but I spoke to a bunch of creatives who are using AI to make essentially AI-assisted or AI-powered films to tell AI-infused stories. This doesn't mean they just press a button to say, make me an episode of Squid Game, but they're having an easier time creating content thanks to AI. They're creating things they would not have created otherwise. As a creator myself, I find this optimistic. Yes, there are real hard questions we need to figure out, but this part of the equation, the idea of AI helping to expand the pie, shouldn't be overlooked. And a final takeaway from this quick dispatch: in our conversation, Susanne shared an AI idea, a chilling idea that hadn't really occurred to me. One trend she predicted was that content itself will get more personalized. Let's say you're watching a show with your spouse or partner or whoever. Let's say it's Game of Thrones, right? And they are cool with the show's gore or violence, but you are not. In the future, AI might be used to customize this Game of Thrones itself. So some people see the bloody version and you see the tame version. Or why stop there? Maybe the AI-powered algorithm eventually realizes the kind of jokes you like or the story arcs that you like or don't like. Maybe they tweak the dialogue in scenes just for you. Maybe if you are a fan of the Houston Rockets, as I am, the version of the show you get, probably not Game of Thrones, but bear with me here, some other show that you're watching, they sprinkle in a Houston Rockets reference for you, and the other person is watching it, they get a reference to the Boston Celtics, right? That kind of thing is likely in our future, whether we like it or not. We already live in a fragmented cultural world, right? We used to live in a monoculture world of the big three. You had NBC, CBS, ABC, and everyone kind of watched the same TV shows. And we all discussed the same things around the water cooler and all that. It's already fragmented, right? There are hundreds, if not thousands of shows people are watching across all these different streamers. That might get fragmented on a further way. I'm going to call it atomic fragmentation, right? At an atomic level of the actual content itself, that could be fragmented in a million different ways. So there's virtually no shared cultural discourse. So no people, literally no two people are watching the same show, except of course we'll all be living the same show, and that is Black Mirror. So that's my quick dispatch from LA. Thank you to Forbes for covering the event. Thank you again to Toonstar for inviting me on stage. And now on to our next segments, 3 quick things of AI news. Quick thing number 1, Futurism gets my award for AI Headline of the Week, and it is a doozy. The headline is, AI-powered news site accidentally accuses district attorney of murder. As the website TechDirt first reported, an AI-powered, quote, news, unquote, site called Hoodline used AI to automatically write news stories based on things like press releases. Obviously, there can be downsides of this. It read a press release from the DA's office in San Mateo, and it got just a few words wrong, just a few non-trivial words that dramatically changed the meaning and led to this hilariously wrong headline. The actual press release by the DA's office said that a local man was accused of murder. Somehow, in a glitch, the AI tweaked that to the DA was accused of murder. Oops! So, as Futurism writes, and as I agree with, mistakes like these, which a human reporter working under a sound editorial process would be very unlikely to make, are likely to become more and more common as publishers give control over to cheap and barely supervised AI systems, unquote. This is my reminder number 1047 to you that AI can make mistakes, especially in these early days, which is why humans need to be kept very much in the loop. Quick thing number 2, Perplexity gets customizable. Now, if you've been dabbling with AI tools, you might have tried out Perplexity, which basically is a type of internet search that summarizes results for you instead of having you click on websites. Now, as an aside, this very thing might completely destroy the entire business model of internet and all of media, but that's a different story for a different time. This past week, Perplexity introduced something called internal knowledge search, which lets companies basically pump in their own private data, add it to what's out there online, and that too can be summarized. Now, I think this is notable as it's likely where a lot of this is headed, customization. If you're a business, then off-the-shelf chatbots like ChatGPT can only get you so far. Ultimately, you'll need to merge that with your own data, and Perplexity is the latest tool to let you do that. And finally, quick thing number 3. We've talked about AI art on this podcast before, but here is something new. An AI-powered robot is creating art, as in not digital art, but painting things in the physical world, and that is now being sold at Sotheby's. As Popular Science reports, a robot called AI Da, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, painted an abstract portrait called AI God. It's a portrait of Alan Turing of Turing test fame, and how meta can you get, right? The painting is expected to fetch over $120,000. Again, just to underscore, a robot is painting things like with actual paintbrushes and paints. That is being sold at Sotheby's for $120,000. So I'm sorry to all of you flesh and blood meatbag painters out there. Our time is done. That's it for today's episode of AI Curious. Thanks again, and see you next time.